Last September, towards the end of the month, I got an email from Terry Hart. In that email was an attachment for artist in residency for BLM in the Owyhees. He said, I think you ought to take a look at this. And I thought, yeah. About that same time, it was in the paper, the newspaper, and I pointed it out to my husband. Yes, looks, kind of like fun, and that's about as far as the conversation went. But it wasn't long after that, it was at the fair, and Kim was working, Kim Critchfield, and he says, hey, I was going to talk to you. Did you see that in the paper about that BLM artist in residency? You'd be a good fit. You should apply. Well, and about that same time, Mike Dixon was around, and we visited about it, and he says, you should do it. And so I had 3 wise men tell me that I should do it. So I thought, that's something that I wasn't convinced. One of my brothers, he's been in the military service since he graduated from high school. He works for he recently retired. He worked for the State Department of Defense out of D.C. And so I sent him the information on it and asked, what do you think about this? Should I do something with it? And he shot me back an answer, and he says, why wouldn't you? So now I had national clearance, national security clearance. So I got it going down the road. And so I need to have one more clearance. And so my husband and I, my best half, we had a conversation, and I asked him, do you care? Do you mind? This is something I'd like to do. Can I apply for this? And he says, if it's something you want to do it. And so there you go. I had Homeland Security. so I got all the clearances I need, and I got to thinking, how fun would it be to go hike around in the desert? I love the desert, and the Owyhees no less. It's the very area where my mother was born and raised, and met my father. And we visited relatives often growing up as kids, and I got thinking, why didn't I pay more attention to the stories, the history? Because they have a lot of history there, like Strike Reservoir. It took part of my grandfather's ranch when they put a dam in. The ranch was lost to Strike Reservoir. And my mom's aunt Peggy, she was the first white baby to be born on the Duck Valley Indian Reservation, and went on to be a teacher there in Bruno for years and years. So I still have relatives in Bruno. The Tyndalls own a ranch there that I need to go back to, and I saw a really cool picture someplace. There's this old piano that they hauled into a homestead somewhere, and it's still there. I mean, the homestead hasn't been used for years, but it's still there, and it's on the Tyndall Ranch, so I need to go find out where that is. Go take a picture of it. I just love the desert and its vastness and the horizons that seem to go on forever. Some people say that the Southern Idaho desert is boring, not attractive, lacking color, beauty, and appeal. I think that they couldn't be further from the truth. You just have to look. The desert, when the sun comes up, I couldn't tell where heaven stopped and the earth began. Forrest Gump said that. And so I sent in my application. And then the first time in my life, I had to fill out a resume. I don't think I've ever filled one out. The jobs I've had, they've been long-term jobs. And you fill out an application, send a few references, and that's it. So I never filled out a resume. So that was a first. And I got it filled out. And then I started thinking, if chosen, how am I going to carry all my stuff? And what do I want to take, what to leave behind? And are we going to be fording rivers? What are we going to be doing? And what would the weather be like? And more importantly, am I good enough? So that crossed my mind a lot. I started thinking about what supplies I'd need, and I've been backpacking about a month before that. So familiar with backpacking, but this would be different. You'd be going just for photography. It would be for a longer period of time, and camera gear is heavy. It's how to carry it, how what was I thinking, and would I even get considered? About October 3rd, I received a call from BLM, and I was one of the chosen ladies. There was 2 of us. I was chosen, and I must have just been shocked because the lady on the other end of the phone, she says, "Can you still do it?" Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. and the other artist was a lady from up Coeur d'Alene way. She's a watercolorist, fantastic artist and talent. And so I received a lady from BLM, Krista. She said I'd be receiving information, more of an itinerary and stuff from the Rangers later that day or the next day. And so she shot me an email right after our conversation and told me, a little bit more. It says, "For my residency, please strive towards self-sufficiency, bringing all your personal gear, food, bedding, and art supplies. You'll need to be responsible for your own meals during residency." And so I guess a little bit of me thought maybe they had people that helped you take your stuff into camp or something. And nope, it's all on your own. And again, I didn't know what to be prepared for, whether that's 5 days, what I would need to take, what I would need to eliminate. And so it came down to, I could go 5 days without food. Probably need to. And then, and how much does a pair of dry socks weigh? I'm good, I can just take my camera gear. So, the next day I got a call from one of the Rangers, and he said that would be the location where we go and where we would be doing a little bit, and we'd be base camping out of the pickup. We would park and then go hiking during the day. And so pack heavy, he says, and consider us to be your Sherpas. And so all the worries that I had kind of went away, other than it was supposed to be colder and rain showers. So I knew from my last backpacking trip I needed new warmer sleeping bag pad, because the one I had was I got cold in August. So I ordered a new pad. There's got rain showers. So I talked to Kim about a raincoat for my camera. Got that ordered, and they wasn't much notice. I got notified on the 3rd. We're to go out on the 11th or the 12th, or the 12th, I guess. And the 11th was a holiday, so I'm too cheap to pay for overnight shipping. So I wasn't even sure if they were going to get here. But they did. They got there early. so I was ready to go. And so right now I have a slideshow to show you, and then I'll get on with my PowerPoint. So, this is a few photos that I've taken before and after, and on scouting trips and other trips that we did on that river. So if I can remember how to do this, we'll get going.
Isn't this beautiful? Here in this process of grand development, we don't understand. Isn't this beautiful? Memories we'll never forget, and thoughts not conceived just yet, part of the master plan. Isn't life beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? Yeah, that look in your eyes when you tell me no lies and you speak the truth. Yeah, and all the stories that unfold, sense of time and growing old, and we have the wisdom to our youth. And isn't this beautiful? Yeah. waking up and believing again. We keep getting the chances to overcome. We keep living. Isn't life beautiful? Can you see it is beautiful? Do you know that you're beautiful? Can you see life is beautiful? Can you feel life is beautiful? Do you know that you're beautiful? Beautiful, life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Can you see it as beautiful? Life is pendulum swings, beauty, tragedy, and chaos brings. The circles get closed, and you stand in the middle of yourself. Isn't that beautiful? Can you see it as beautiful? Do you know that you're beautiful? You know you're beautiful. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Can you see it as beautiful? Life is Isn't life beautiful?
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, find you a lover. Go away, somewhere all brand new. I've seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. You belong with your love on your arm. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, go find a lover. Run away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve deepest of cover. You belong in that
now we're off on the adventure. I was supposed to meet the Rangers in Boise to go over, meet the management staff and get whatever other supplies we needed, and do some paperwork. And that was on October 12th. And so from Filer, I drive to Boise and meet with the Rangers, meet the other artists, and got a tour of the office. We went over the maps and details of our adventure. And when we were getting supplies, one of the Rangers, Evan, sleeping bags, there's a case for a crate of sleeping bags. And he says, it's supposed to be a little bit cooler at nights. What are you girls' the sleeping bags rated at? I thought, mine I think is 0, so that should be good enough. And Jessica, she just returned from like 30 days doing artist in residence in Alaska. She's a smarter one of the two. She says, I'll take one. She's going to put her sleeping bag inside of the other one. And so, no, I'm tough. I'm good. I don't need one. But I think I'm starting to think I might regret it later. But anyway, the place we're going to meet first is the duty station. And we get all our supplies, get our water. We're not sure at the duty station if the water is still turned on. This is where we stayed the first night. So we leave Boise, come back towards the direction I just came from, and through Grandview, and then ended up here. And it's the Mudflat Administrative Site. The log-sided building is where Jessica and I stayed. It has a full kitchen, a little propane stove, couch. It's a great place. And the metal building on the back is a bunkhouse, shower, and restrooms. So Jessica and I, we got the main place, and the guys stayed in the bunkhouse. It was pretty nice. So we hurried after we took all 4 of our rigs. Rangers each had their own pickup, and Jessica and I our rigs, because the Rangers, they were going to leave us there after we were there. They had to come back on Friday. So everybody took their outfits, and so we all caravanned to the Mudflat station and got unloaded what we didn't need in the outfit for the day, had a snack, and finally, we're finally off on our adventure. We leave there and head for an area, it's the Coal Creek Wilderness area, and hike up to the top of Avery Table. And again, the photos, you can see maybe from here, they're a lot more color than what is shown. The lichen on the rock is just brilliant. Anyway, we climb up to the top of Avery Table, which isn't a very long hike, and you're overlooking Bullhead Base. This is looking to the north, but it just goes on forever. And Quakies are just in their prime. They're just gorgeous, and lots of junipers. There's lots of junipers. So it's a great hike. We go down from there, and our next stop, just a little ways down the road, is Deep Creek. And on Mudflat Road, there's a place to turn off. So you cross the creek and just pull your outfit off, and then go up and be to your left, hike up the little hill, and it has a nice overlook. And this canyon is just gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. The willows at the bottom were beautiful. The lichen on the rocks, everything. Mother Nature does a great job, and the colors just were spectacular. And so it makes a curve right there. So the other side, it opens up, it curves to the left, and it opens up to this meadow with more Quakies and maybe cottonwoods, I'm not sure. It looks like cattle have been grazing down in there. A gorgeous place to stop and take a break and look around, just right off the road. That's another shot of the scene. And as we're coming down off the ridge, there's cattle in different places. A lot of private property is intermingled with the BLM and the wilderness areas. And the cattle, there's more than 100,000 head of cattle that graze in Hawaii County. The ranching activity has been going on for over 150 years. And, it's an important part of the vibrancy and the economy for the area. And so when you're out hiking, there's going to be cow pies. There just is. There's some more cattle. That I think is on private property. It's fenced, and so it's just a private property. But like I say, there's lots of junipers. And we, since we were in the juniper area, we headed the next stop to Juniper Mountain. It's aptly titled because of the copious amount of junipers. They go on for miles, and some are well over like 500 years old. They've survived the elements. They've survived wildfires. The rangers have said that BLM and the ranchers are working on a management plan, management practice to help reduce the impact that the young junipers have on the open grasslands and the sagebrush. Without management, they just keep encroaching and they crowd out the open areas and reduce the natural grasses and the sagebrush that's important for the other habitat, the sage grouse. And the ranchers, of course, don't want their grazing areas to be all taken over with junipers. We turned off at a kiosk. The name of the kiosk is Owyhees Wilderness Area, and it's on your left. And so you take off on a 2-track road that way. We head towards Trout Springs, and the road, it gets narrow, and the rangers' trucks. I'm glad they weren't my trucks. My husband wouldn't let me take my vehicle there. The brush is overgrown. It just scrapes the side of the trucks. So you have to go through some pretty narrow spots. A lot of the roads are in place. Well, they probably aren't in place, but they're used mostly by ranchers hauling mineral and salt box to their cattle. And so they don't get used a whole lot except for 4-wheelers. But we got to this area, and the sun was going down. Just right. The colors, just such the nice feeling, that the kind that makes us photographers go nuts. I mean, you're just wanting to take pictures, and sensory overload. So we get out and taking pictures, and in the fall there's the spiders that have the webs. They float all through the air, so there's spider webs on everything, and I couldn't get any photos of them, but they had the rainbow effect, and very beautiful. We go a little bit further after the rangers were patiently waiting for us there, and we go a little further, and it just gets more pretty. The trees that were destroyed by a wildfire years past, the words can't describe how pretty they were. They just stood out. Their purpose in life now is just to be pretty, I guess. They're just amazing. Didn't want to leave there. I know we needed to get back, but didn't want to leave. Wanted to take pictures. The sky, if you can see that, is getting more intense, and but it's time to go back because we need to get back to the base camp and plan for the next day. And it's not far away mile-wise, but to get anywhere, it takes a while. And so we headed back. I think I'm in the truck and my arms are crossed and stuff. I'm not happy about having to leave. And this tree, my fellow artist Jessica, she called this one the teapot tree, and it does. It looks like a teapot. Map reading. I'm not so good on it, but those guys are good. And they study maps a lot, trying to figure out. Well, they know where we're going, but basically, I think they had the maps out just so Jessica and I could see where we're going in case they ditched us. But we're on Wednesday. We were to get up early, and so it's Jessica and I were sleeping in that the main building, and I wanted to get up, but nobody's stirring. And a list of supplies that the rangers told us to take. One of the supplies you're supposed to bring is a watch. So you know what time it is. I hadn't worn a watch for years, but for Christmas I got a watch. And so the only watch I had was a watch that's on a necklace. And I don't know how old those are, but I got it for a graduation gift from high school, so it's almost an antique, but that was the watch that I took. And it isn't backlit, you can't see it in the dark. So I have no idea what time it is, but it's time to get up. So I get dressed in the dark and I head outside, and it's cold and there's frost everywhere. And I think I'll just go for a walk. It's a great morning, nobody's up yet. I'll go for a walk. So I go to the main gate where we came through, and you saw that it was all surrounded by chain link. It's locked. I walked in. I'm in a compound. I walked in. So, pretty quick, Casey came out and he asked if I wanted, wanted to lock the gate and let me out. And I go take pictures of the sunrise somewhere. My husband can attest to this. No, I don't want to hold anybody up. And so I should have said, yes, wait for me, I'll be back. But I didn't. I didn't know what their plans were. So Evan was not long after Casey was out. Here came Evan, and they asked, is Jessica up? Not yet. They said, well, maybe you should go wake her up. And so that lady, she wakes up and is ready to go faster than anybody I know. It doesn't take her any time. She's up, she's dressed, she beats me getting ready. Getting my stuff back. She's well practiced at that. And so we were off. We had a quick breakfast. We packed everything we need for the next 3 days in the Rangers trucks. And Jessica, she knows that I'm concerned about being cold because it's cold, and I didn't take that extra sleeping bag. So she offers me her stadium blanket that she had in the car. So I wanted to know if I wanted to take it. We're cranking out of the truck. Of course I want to take it. I don't want to get cold. The previous day when we went down the road, Casey had noticed a camp trailer parked off to one side. The Rangers never stopped working the whole time. Wherever we went, they were doing double duty. They were working, checking signs, putting signs back up that got knocked over, checking on hunters, checking this or that, or cattle, or gates closed or open. Anyway, he went to check on this trailer, and so he could report it back to base camp. And Jessica and Casey and I, we went exploring. This was at the next stop was Stoneman Creek, and there's beaver ponds and frost on the grass. But Jessica and I, we were having a great time, and we look over where Casey's at, and he's by the truck, and he's got hands over his ears. And pretty quick we see why the Air Force is, Mountain Home Air Force Base is flying jets over them. They're loud and they're low. And then they come by, and you'd think, how can you can't have motorized vehicles in the wilderness areas, and yet these jets are flying over the wilderness areas, and they're motorized. And you wonder what effect they have on the wildlife. I don't think there's an animal that's out there that hasn't been born decades with the jets going over. They don't care. They don't care. It's like us living in the city. You kind of just don't hear it anymore. So I don't think they're affected at all. The weather forecast isn't looking too good. When Evan made his call into the base camp, he said that what our first plan was to shuttle vehicles from one side of North Fork, the side of the wilderness area that we were on, to go down to Cherry Stand, park one truck, go around on the other side by Jordan Valley, come back in, park that truck, and walk to the first truck. And but time-wise, it just takes a long time to do that 100-mile loop, and then we'd have to go back and pick up the first truck. So they wanted to show us more of the area, so we canceled that plan, and we thought we'd do some few road trips on our way to Jordan Valley side of the North Fork Wilderness. And this is one of the next stops we make, and it's at Cottonwood Creek. Great place to stop if you're going through. If you go through in the spring, there's wildflowers on the right-hand side. This pond on the left is great, cliffs to climb, really cool rocks, shade, wonderful place to stop in. I think this is an area they have an endangered species of frogs, the spotted frog. I think this is where you'd see those at. And, this is just another shot of the same area and the reflections. We came across some surveyors. They were doing some work for BLM, and I think that there's so much land that doesn't crisscross, but maybe the borders could be made easier, more accessible for BLM, wilderness area, well, not the wilderness, BLM and the ranchers, that they do some swabbing sometime, and so they're always surveying along the byway. And Casey and Evan, they're great ambassadors for BLM. They were really friendly and helpful and stop and talk to everybody. This is just before you reach the North Fork campground. The prettiest campground along the byway. It's the only one that has developed campsites. It has picnic tables, fire grates, and a vault toilet. And of course, it has the North Fork running through it. It's just gorgeous in the fall. A great place to stop. And you'll run across everywhere you go in this area, the junipers, the twisted, gnarled junipers. Some of them, they just are massive And this one looks like it had maybe an elf or somebody living in it. That I checked out for Keebler cookies, but I didn't see anybody. And then, there's some of them that are just ancient, and then others that still look cool after they've been damaged by the fire. This is taken from the road as you cross the North Fork, going into the campground, middle of the day. I know for us photographers, we're not supposed to be taking photos in the middle of the day. It's not the prime time, but maybe in a canyon, to not have so many shadows, maybe it's a great time to take pictures. So that's where we stopped for lunch, and so Jessica and I, I think both got our sandwiches, and the rangers waited patiently while we wandered around and taking pictures. The next stop, we went almost to Jordan Valley. The whole byway is like 100 miles, and so we're almost to Jordan Valley, do the South Mountain turn off, and this is where we go up to where we're going to spend the bulk of our time. As you go up this road, the ranches and the fields and meadows, Indian Springs Meadow, I think is one of them. They are so pretty. If you have the chance in the fall, go back there for some fall photos. I know I will. Didn't stop this time, even though Casey said, well, stop if you want to. I was supposed to be doing stuff for BLM, not the ranchers. It was just beautiful, beautiful drive. Get to where we were going, let's see what it said. We went down a two-track road that ended at the border of the North Fork Wilderness. We couldn't go on that road. And that would be where we hope to stay for the next 2 nights, do some exploring of some drainages and ridges. And so after we set up, we went for a hike. And these trees, you can see their roots are just exposed. They're going through rock. And so I have a quote that I like trees because they seem to be more resigned to the way they have to live than other things do. They're just content to be where they're at and make the best of it. So there's more and more junipers. But they're cool. This is overlook at Juniper Mountain. For miles, junipers. But they're just beautiful. They have so much character to them. You kind of get addicted every turn. You're looking and you're seeing more twists and shape, more exposed roots, more dead ones. They're very cool. There's where we're setting up camp. It's at sunset, and it's we're not high enough above the trees to get the perfect shot, I guess. But that was perfect for the evening for me. And we had a nice meal. Since we did the truck camping, I could take my MREs, courtesy of my brother, my military MREs, and they're heavy, but very good meals, very good. So we all eat well, got our tents set up, and Jessica and I were in the far back there. This is our dispersed camping area, and that's our camp, and that's one photo at the bottom right is the view from my front door. And there's berries. These trees, and that one's got to be one of the old ones. I mean, they're just incredible. So much character. There's a lot of berries, a lot of new stuff, more roots, dead trees, just decomposing. And I don't know what kind of tree that was, but it was awesome. And that's in the middle of the day. That's the sun up there. It's just beautiful. It makes a great black and white photo. So after dinner, it's getting dark and nobody's ready for bed. And Casey had just been to a light painting school for his job. Casey, and so he wanted to try some of it out. I don't remember anything that Jonathan or Kurt had said about my shoes. I just drawn a blank. None of the photos are very good, but we sure had fun. And got Casey and Evan to pose in front of the Big Dipper. I guess it's called Ursa Major, right? Is that the proper name for it? So we laughed a lot and played around. And then, because the moon was so bright, we went for a hike afterwards and didn't need any flashlights or anything. Just walking and going for a walk. I am the only one. I walked right into a low-hanging branch and got a little bitty scratch. So Evan, he saw that the next morning. And so because of my injury, I earned my first badge. store. I got my first BLM badge. So it was worth the hurt, the pain. The wilderness area was formed. All these, there's 6 of them. They came together on March 30th, 2009. Congress passed Omnibus Public Land Management Act. Section 1503 of that act designated the following 6 wilderness areas in Hawaii County. There's the Big Jacks Creek Wilderness Area, the Bruno Jarvidge Rivers Wilderness Area, Little Jacks Creek Wilderness Area, North Fork Hawaii Wilderness Area, Hawaii River Wilderness Area, and Pole Creek Wilderness Area. So these 6 wilderness areas make up about 517,000 acres and are collectively known informally as the Hawaii Canyonlands Wilderness. The 517,000, the North Fork is just a really small portion of that we're leaving to. And the Hawaii Initiative was a groundbreaking collaborative approach to land management. It was crafted by local ranchers, Hawaii County representatives, conservationists, outfitters, the Shoshone-Paiute tribe, and others to address this long-standing public issue there in southwest Idaho. I don't think this had been done before, that so many people got together and created this. And while the Hawaii Agreement provided the framework, the Hawaii Initiative Implementation Act, introduced by Idaho Senator Mike Crapo, provided the necessary legal vehicle for implementing and enforcing that. And in this designation, there's also 316 miles of national and wild scenic rivers. 316 miles. Some of it is only accessible by rafts. That's something you get from Doug. But it's an incredible feat that everybody worked together for. So that's where we started our walk. The next day was on the Jordan Valley side of the North Fork Wilderness. Stopped at the sign, and they have this gate across. I guess, don't go any further than this into the wilderness. There are no motorized vehicles beyond that point. As soon as we got parked, it starts to drizzle. You can see from the guys, it's raining on it, which is great for photography. I mean, the colors are saturated. It's the right temperature. It's a wonderful setting, but it's not so good on your camera gear, and not so good on the lenses. And I forgot to mention, Jessica, she's a watercolorist, so she is taking snapshots. She's taken 1 million pictures to my one, because she doesn't have to use a tripod. She's just taking snapshots for references so she can paint. Everywhere I go, I just set up the tripod, and start, and it takes a lot longer. And you get thinking, oh, maybe I should just do snapshots. No, you need to take the time to do it right. And so, it's just, so it's also good on the gear. It was a beautiful morning when we started. The sky was just brilliant red and stuff, and the old saying is the sailor said, red sky at night, sailors delight, red sky at morning, sailors take warning. They were right. And because of the rain and the weather, KCE checked in with the Rangers every day, or the Rangers base camp, and they said it was gonna have rivers of moisture. We had to take up our camp where we had planned on staying for a few days and come down lower to more gravel roads. We couldn't stay up where the mud was, because any of you that have driven out the desert, you get stuck really fast. I wish all of nature's magnificence, the emotion of the land, the living energy of the place could be photographed. I can't do it. I know probably a lot of people can't. It just is something so it's part of the journey. It's a wonderful part of the journey. I keep trying to photograph what I see. I don't know if I can describe what I felt and I saw on our hike this day. The peace and quiet was overwhelming. It's incredible. It's just so quiet. And if there was a time machine, we just went back 100 years. It was probably not a word that used to describe the harsh environment, but it was exquisite. My senses were heightened, and my eyes were looking everywhere, trying to think, what to take picture for. And as clumsy as I am, I'm looking around. That's not good. I need to watch where I'm going. It smelled so good and earthy, and our feet walked over this cushion carpet of decaying plant growth where another human probably hadn't walked in decades, because we went down to these drainages that the rangers hadn't been before, and we scrambled down over rocks and climbed up over boulders, and then up over another ridge and down. And all the time, it's this fine mist is falling on us, color everywhere, and the smell is so good. The huge, there's small meadows and huge willows and pockets of water in almost dry creek beds, aspen, quakies, cottonwoods, and there's a few fir trees mingled amongst all the junipers, and their best fall color. Kodachrome was alive and well in the Norfolk wilderness. There are lots of elk sign. There's in the undergrowth where we walk, lots of elk signs. We didn't see a single one, and we were thinking pretty quiet, but it was hunting season, so maybe they thought we were hunters. And cattle can be grazed in a lot of these areas, and they were out for the year. I don't know how any cowboy on horseback could have ever went through here on horseback. They'd had to go off and walked. And one of our drainages that we went into was this natural arch, so that was pretty cool. And Casey and Jessica got in there for a photo, and we got that, and just more roots, more algae fungus growing on the cottonwoods, overlooks the boulders. We saw hoodoos, spires, you think would be what you call it. It was just a beautiful area. We made several photography stops. You can appreciate how long it takes to set up and use a tripod, and your camera's wearing a rain jacket. Time would slip away from me, and I would get lost in my thoughts. And sometimes when I looked up, I couldn't see anything. They left. Oops. And so you just have to, look a little bit harder. And the Rangers wore the hunter orange on their back, so in case he had on a bright orange hat. So they were waiting patiently. They just went down the drainage a little bit farther. Good map skills, compasses, and GPS are recommended when exploring that country because they'd be easy to get lost. So I'm following. I'm always probably in the last because I'm trying to either catch up or something. So I'm following along behind, and they just went to an area. And Casey is a huge rock hound. He's always looking down, and he picks up a piece of obsidian. And he says, "I think this one's been worked." And yeah, maybe so. And he just loves rocks. He had a little collection back at his office. So they'd already been by this area, and I said, "Hey, Casey, I found an arrowhead." Yeah, you don't know what an arrowhead is, girl. So, oh, really? So they come back, and he was so excited. It was an arrowhead. so he was pretty tickled, and so they took the pictures of it, and instead of putting it back where I found it, which is on the ground, they put it up on a rock. So it's still in the Owyhees. Maybe the next person in the 22nd century maybe will have an easier time finding it instead of having to look on the ground. Casey and Evan, they kept track of the time while we were out walking, and it was time to turn around, and so we decided instead of following the drainages, we would go up on a ridge line and follow it back to our trucks, which would be shorter. So some of these are taken from the ridge line. I guess not yet. That's the only picture I think we have of all of us. I can't say enough about how pretty it was there. It took color or black and white. I figured when I was making my mental preparations for coming to the Owyhees, I thought, what am I going to shoot? How am I going to shoot? What am I going to, what lenses am I? And I envisioned taking a lot of black and whites and maybe more of the canyons with not the trees, but that wasn't the case. We had a lot of trees to shoot through and around. And these are cow. Oh, subsculptor, if I say that right, commonly known as the sculpted puffball. They're mushrooms, the mushroom family, and they get huge. I mean, they were huge. And then they break open and explode and shoot fungus stuff everywhere. But they were huge, like size of a small soccer ball, I guess. But there's Jessica, she's getting the shot. Should go back. But anyway, we headed back, made camp in this area. It was dark when we got to camp. The wind had picked up, and we were worried about rains. And I'd set my tent up, and not near as quick as those guys. And I figured out how come they're so quick to set up and take down than me. I mean, I had to work my tail off. They have these great big bags, dry sacks, I think. They just stuff everything in it. They don't fold it up or roll up their sleeping bags. They just stuff them in these sacks. But anyway, I mentioned that we had to come down off the mountain and camp lower. And so at that camp, it was a beautiful grove of quakies, you could tell, but we needed to get set up, so no photos. And so I set up a little bit over, out of the way, set my tent up, and the Rangers came over and promptly picked my tent up, just literally, and took it over in a different area. They didn't want me camping there because where I had set up was under a tree and the wind was blowing pretty good and it was making noise, and they didn't want me to get squished, I guess. And so I think because it was dark, where my tent was on a slight, or it ended up being slight, it's a rocky slope. I think I kept falling off my mat the whole night through. We stayed dry that night. The next morning we had, the Rangers said, girls, I think we're in trouble. That we need to get back. So they loaded up once more, and they promised us breakfast in Jordan Valley, and then even buy us a foo-foo coffee. So we packed up, and that's what the weather looked like. It's not snow, it's just it was foggy and cold and wet. And so we got all done, went to Jordan Valley, and breakfast was great. The little cafe at Jordan. And even had a foo-foo coffee. So on the way back to duty camp, we made another stop at North Fork, and stopped this time on the Jordan Valley side, the overland, and looking down at the North Fork River. Got a few photos. It's just kind of raining a little bit. You can see Jessica down there. She's trying to get some shots, and I wish the color was better. It really was a pretty area. So we spent maybe 5 minutes, and I bet we were there an hour. It seemed like just 5 minutes. And got some more pictures, and went back to camp. And Jessica and I, we needed to make the decision. The guys had to go home. This was Friday. They had to go home to Boise, and by 5 o'clock they had to be back. So we're thinking, it's raining. We can't get off the road. I don't know. What do you think we should do, Jessica? And she says, well, if I go back Sunday, I can do what I need to do in Coeur d'Alene, and so the decision was made. As much as we hated to, we ended our adventure short that afternoon, and they headed to Boise, and I drove really slow out. I was the last one out because I wanted to savor all I could. I did get to go back maybe a week or so later. One of the Rangers called Evan, said, hey, meet me in Bruno, and you can go with me, and I'll show you a few places to go on your own. You can and show you how to get there. So we went and hiked the Parker Trail, which is, when you leave Bruno, you don't go towards Granby, you turn the other way. And we went for a hike there, and it's the only developed trail, I think, in the Owyhee wilderness. It's actually been made a really nice trail. So I hiked down to the bottom of that and saw the sights, and he took me on some roads that I wouldn't drive on, made a big loop, and telling me this whole time, and I write down my little notebook how to get back to these places. And they don't make any sense now, because one of them was, well, these protein blocks might not be here, but that's where you turn, and then you go over this way, and you hit this one. So since my directions aren't very good about where to go, there are some great books that show everything that the Rangers mentioned. This is by Steve Stubner and Mark Lisk. And Mark Lisk is going to be a speaker for us. He did this guidebook that's mile by mile for the whole 100 miles of the way backcountry byway. Really detailed information. You're welcome to have a look at this. And then another really good book to read is More Than a Rock by Guy Talon. He's coming this fall. I have to read this really slow because he talks way over my head. But it's a great book. And another one is Leland Howard. He lives up in Idaho Falls. Him and his sister do a lot of books. And this one is a great book. Has the GPS locations. So those are all great books to read if you're interested. And I'd like to thank the Bureau of Land Management for the opportunity to do what I got to do. And Evan and Casey for putting up with me, and Krista, the lady at BLM, that went through the applications with my time in the backcountry. It was an amazing one. And with that, I have a little piece out of Guy Talon's book. It says, social as we are, our most profound emotions and realizations are often experienced in scarce company or no company at all. It's dangerously easy to give up such things in exchange for comfort, security, and an effortless existence. It is easy to suppress our amazing ability for thought, feeling, knowledge, intuition, and creativity for the ease of prepackaged, ready-to-consume ideas, entertainment, and lifestyle templates. It's easy to have others experience adventure, discovery, and achievement on our behalf, and to live vicariously through them, believing that we aren't cut out for the task, or assuming that at some undetermined point in the future we'll get around to doing something meaningful after we've taken care of all the trivial matters. These are also dangerous traps to fall into, as their implications often do not become known until it's too late to change the course. So if you've ever wondered what it feels like to stand on top of a mountain, go find a mountain now. If you've ever wished to know more about this or that or the other, switch off your TV and go learn about that now. If you've ever wanted to see an epic sunrise, go set your alarm clock now. And if you want a life other than the one you have when you're living now, make a plan now. So that's for words of wisdom from Guy Talon. And I think there's the books. I can leave that up. That's the end of my talk. You guys have been very patient. Thank you.